What's up, YouTubers? This is not a full review of the Kunwu Knives Excalibur Designer Metal Complex, the one, the only. This is going to be a different kind of overview. It's not going to be about the specs that he chose and why, but I'm going to actually have, as a longtime follower of Metal Complex, like, I don't know, he had like 7,000 subscribers at the time, or when I first subscribed. It was a long time ago. It was when Slicey Dicey was a thing. And this is going to be kind of inside the head of, 5, 7 years worth of Metal Complex. And so let's jump into it. Okay, let's first just start with the body, the thing that has to hold the blade. Full titanium, whatever, 6AL4V, contoured, or I should say a crown spine, aka contoured, for his comfort throughout. Oh, there we go. That's a better option. You can see that. Definitely flat side scale, but texturing on there, diamond pattern, all things classic. If you know his channel, so yeah, the frame that's going to hold this thing in is it meets everything, and it's radiused very nicely on the sides. Again, comfort was thought through, amazingly. Very good design on that. Actually, let's take a small step back. Actually, for a moment, I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Kunwu Padre here. Let's start with even the manufacturer. He knew he was, for all the things he wanted, the price point he wanted, there was no way this was ever going to get made in the USA. So he went and he chose, somebody who's reviewed thousands of knives. He chose a manufacturer who's doing everything right. Good heat treat, good grind, thin grinds. The production is essentially impeccable. So Kunwu Knives, we can kind of show you the first, I won't say thing that was selected, but where Kunwu did it really well is Timascus. I think it's called Timascus or Mokuti, whatever. I think they're the same, but it's basically pattern welded Timascus, and it's anodized in such a way that it has a nice differential pattern there. You can kind of see that. So that's the first thing, is picking Kunwu was the right choice. They're doing things right. Pretty much, the Padre and other models that others have had made by them, doing good. Oh yeah, this heat treat 61. This was done by, I'll link the video below, by Billy at Apex Alchemy Knives. Does the free heat treat tests, and I had him do this one. It was 61, which is in the advertised range. Okay, we already talked about, let me go into this way. We already talked about it, but the nice things that Metal Complex likes is the Mokuti. This is beautiful on the pocket clip. Just take a look at the coloring on that. So yeah, the fancy, it is DLC coated. It's very nicely done, and it's not kind of a thick chalky, but there's just enough texture to it in combination with the diamond pattern makes for a knife that is secure in your hand and not going to fall out. All right, knowing that he wants the best of the best, a full piece of titanium being integral. There's no sandwich construction. It's just a single piece. We're going to go ahead and just bring in the very first one that I saw on his channel. This was the Purvis Xerx. This was, I think, version 2, but it was, in fact, the first basically integral titanium that I had, flipper. So, yeah, saw that on his channel. I knew that he liked them. All right, talking about this handle. Very neutral grip. You'll notice there's, other than just this secure finger groove there, but you can choke up a little bit. We'll talk about that. But yeah, basically a nice neutral grip, and that just brought to mind, I was like, wait a minute, one of his most comfortable knives ever is the George VECP. Nice neutral grip. If you kind of take a look at that on top of it, it's just insanely neutral in that sense, that these are almost like a carbon copy match. Just not in terms of copy, but just in terms of that neutral grip in hand. So yeah, there's some influence there. Check out his video on the VECP. Okay, bearings or washers. Bearings, action as well as return. But, so you can see it's a nice little return. The Koenig Arius. People don't buy the Arius because it's a hard use knife. It is hard capable, but it's because the action is ridiculous and it's just so smooth. That's why we love it. And that is absolutely true in the Excalibur. Is there's a little bit of kind of, I say, genteel rough catching, and it has to do with the fact that this DLC covered blade, they did not, I have not taken this apart, but I'm 90% certain, because I've had this with other knives, is with a coating on a blade, until it kind of works in a smooth path with that detent ball there, I can already tell just in 2 days of handling this and kind of playing around that it is getting smoother. So yeah, bearing action, of course. Okay, let's talk about the coatings. We already talked about the DLC is done really well on the titanium frame, but on this blade, who doesn't love a DLC, a polished DLC, which Rick Hinderer used to do, but it added a challenge to production, and so it ended up being basically something that was not done. Enter the Kizer Militaw. I don't know, this was maybe even be last year, 2 years ago, I don't know. But, Metal Complex fawned over that, and that they did so right. And you know what? He said, I'm going to go ahead and do it so right. You can get ones that are not DLC coated, and are just, straight stainless, or not stainless, but straight satin. And I think maybe stonewashed, I'm not sure. But yeah, so DLC, polished, we see it. Okay, we've got these external stop pins here. You'll notice there is no internal stop pin on this one. And I don't know if it could be done. I imagine it could. You just have to lay that back a little bit more. And I don't know how it would wedge in there. But yeah, external stop pins, some influence. Oh gosh. Anybody know of a knife that brand that is popular with Metal Complex? This is my stand-in, by the way, and this is also my Strider stand-in. I know this is made by ProTech, but again, the stop pins are external. It just happens to be an automatic version of the Strider. So yeah, you see some of that influence. Let's just jump one moment back to the steel. Vanax, very stainless, reasonably good edge retention. 6162 HRC, very good. Even before Kunwu was doing this, go back to old videos. The Quiet Carry, this one is the Waypoint, I believe. Quiet Carry is a company out of Taiwan. They've been using Vanax forever, stainless. It got a good name, I think, essentially because of them, and Kunwu's kind of mastered it to the degree that it can be as a modern day super steel. All right, we're going to go back to the deployment. Multiple methods of deployment. This one has thumb studs and a hole here. You can do it through there, back side. You can do front side through the hole. You can do the back side on the stud, basically. So yeah, this multiple deployment methods, dare I say, this one meets that. It just doesn't have the studs, and of course the studs providing the stop pins. Doesn't necessarily work that way. This one just happens to have a front flipper there. So multiple deployment methods, check. Okay, let's talk about this pocket clip. You love it. You just don't want to scratch it because you think you're going to possibly resell this. You're going to make money off of knives, right? Reselling them. No, you're not. So it's a good thing that you actually watched his Knife Guy episodes and you realize it's not a money-making thing. There may be a knife here and there, Oz Machine Company, Roosevelt, things like that are just super rare. You can make a little bit of money, but this is not a money-making affair. I think it was the Knife Junkie who basically posted a very funny meme. It basically said, I used to be a millionaire until I got into knife collecting, and I thought, and I ended up a thousandaire or something along those lines. But extra hardware, and specifically the ability to replace the pocket clip with this nice wire one, deeper carry, definitely deep carry. So yeah, the deep carry, think about bug out, etc., other things like that, where those things became popular, and the extra hardware. So we've seen this before in the Chavez, where there was a somewhat of a pocket clip that some people didn't like, and so Chavez started producing a second one. You can do the same thing with this, but instead of one that you wouldn't want to show skulls or whatever coming out of your pants, you may just want to use one that you don't mind getting scratched up a little bit, because your pocket clips, let's be honest, when these go in when they go in your pockets, the pocket clips are the ones that definitely take the scratching. So, influence. In addition to the pocket clip, imagine all sorts of hardware. A whole pivot screw, even the steel lock bar interface replacement. Last time I can recall that was from the Divo Buzz, where this one I think was made by, this is a Lefty, Kevin Lefty EDC. He and Colin Maison Pierre made this one. It came with basically everything hardware. If you want to, play around, if you want to, what do you call that? Anodize some of the hardware on there, change it up a little bit. And that's kind of becoming, I think, a little bit more standard from some of your higher end brands coming out of China, is that they realize, oh yeah, things, you're not going to necessarily be able to get them here. So they give you extra hardware. Good on that. Okay, who doesn't like a crowned spine? Look at that thing. Again, for his comfort and hers. So it has jimping here, but it's a nice crowned spine if you're choking up there. And that was one of the other things, by the way, is I put away the Hinderer. But yeah, without the flipper there, it gives you the chance to move up if you need to, get closer there if you need to basically get into a hammer grip to press through something. So that's where the non-flipper also aids on this one. But back to the crown spine with the good jimping, and need look no further than the Reeve Sebenza. Again, the crown spine it's premium, it's comfortable. There's something about it, you have to admit, but some functional and decent enough. I will say this jimping is a little bit better. This is functional and definitely gives you some texture. The good thing about this one, a little bit better than, if you take a look, is over the Chris Reeves, you'll notice how much further out it goes. And again, for that choke up position. So we'll go ahead and move the CRK out of there. If you're in the back position here, you've got the jimping covering you there, but you notice you have all that excess. So as you move forward, you got that jimping. Again, it takes greatness of, greatness of design and things that we see and improving upon those. Okay, and the last thing is, and this is literally my only ding I've got on this knife, is it documents on their website 3.58 or 3.59 inches for the blade. But I'm going to go ahead and show this. So the state of Colorado measures it from where basically blade would hit something, aka right there. And it is, in fact, when I go exactly, it's 3.70 inches, which I don't mind as a design. It's great because I'm going to show you another 3.70 inch knife that I think it's pretty dang close to it. This is the Hinderer Knives Project X, and it's just short. It's like 3.65. If you take a look at that, 3.63. Yeah, 3.65 is just so very close to it. It's just, I won't say truth in advertising or something like that, but something that the website for future orders probably should update. It is, in fact, a 3.70 inch blade, not 3.58 or 3.59 as documented. Again, nitpicking, I'm not even going to weigh this thing. It's a full titanium. I know it's going to have a little bit of heft. I haven't even done a full care. Obviously, I can't. It's been 2 days since I got this. The pre-order was painless. It was assured. Kunwu came through. This wasn't one of those where, there were problems with shipping from China or so forth. The price is $429 for a full titanium integral Vanax supersteel DLC coated and polished after the fact. Extra hardware. I forgot about this. The lock bar stabilizer, of course, it comes from the Hinderer and Striders. Again, some history there. Oh, and then last thing I forgot to show is a very subtle, but the metal complex, I don't even know, is that upside? Yeah, there we go, sorry. The metal complex face shield, steel helmet, is inside the lock bar cutout there. So that's just kind of a neat little thing. Subtlety, you'll notice that there's no branding anywhere. You do see where it's Vanax. Is it this side? Where was it? There it is. Yeah, you see the Vanax steel right there, but otherwise you don't see Kunwu advertised anywhere. In short, this is a knife that was... I've bought many other knives from other designers, but I don't think any of them were essentially 5 to 7 years in the making. And when I say in the making, it's not as though when he conceived he was going to make a knife, it was 7 years ago. But you look at all the elements, everything that a knife reviewer like Metal Complex has done, and it all translates essentially perfectly and nearly perfectly done on this knife. So, yeah, this is an Excalibur, and I think a knife worthy of a king. Definitely, there's going to be. I can only assume there's going to be another batch made. Assuming Kunwu made a profit, Metal Complex made something out of it. That there almost has to be, because this is a knife that could be your one and done. Truly, the one drawback would be that some districts in states in Colorado, or not in the Colorado, in the United States, like Colorado has a 3.5 inch concealed carry. You can carry open any size you want, but concealed 3.5 inch blade. So stepping across that 3.5 inch boundary, I think, does reduce the number of places that you can carry this legally. It's really close in there. A lot of basically tests from cops will be, most hands kind of describe a 3.5 inch, and you can see this one is literally zero point 0.2 inches over 3.5 inch for a basic hand. Is it a huge deal? Yeah, it could be the difference between a felony and a misdemeanor. So otherwise, really, I got to hand it to Metal Complex. Everything was done right. Everything was done, the way it was expected, and this is the knife that makes more sense than any other folder that I've ever seen. So, hope this was interesting, if not useful for you, and I appreciate the like and subscribe if it was. Take care. Have a great day.